Hey, welcome to Studio 23 Nashville. We are going to have you swaying today and maybe even playing guitar. Yeah. Guess who our guest is?
Allison Kerr is with us today, fine singer, songwriter, and guitar instructor.
Welcome to Studio 23 Nashville with your hosts, Jennifer Herron and Bryan Cumming. Today's special guest is Allison Kerr.
Welcome back to Studio 23. We have Allison Kerr with us today.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
What
Good
a
to
lovely
be here.
setting, right?
Oh,
Kick
it's
back
perfect.
with your guitar.
Yeah, nice and home and feel and all that kind of thing.
And
it's
home is the same state for both of us, right? Texas?
That's true. That's true. Fortunately, grew up in Fort Worth, so I didn't have any of the Houston hurricane thing. But yeah, grew up in Cowtown and liked it a lot. And weren't you San Antonio?
Yeah, I'm further
Yeah.
south. Now, in Fort Worth, when she says Cowtown, she means it. They still have that Longhorn Drive. What, high noon? Is that
Oh yeah,
right
3
down
times
through?
a day
Yeah.
down Main Street.
Oh, my
you,
God.
you have a
The
cattle
Longhorns?
drive. It's just the coolest.
It really is.
Downtown?
Yeah,
on the
downtown.
paved street? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's more for show, or does it have a...
Well, it's showing how they actually have the actual riders of how when they do a cattle drive, when you had the trailers in the back and the leaders on the side, and I should have reviewed my cattle
Yeah.
trail
I mean, it's
vernacular.
really great. Cowboy
You've
Hall of
seen
Fame and
this?
everything.
You've
I've
seen
been
it?
there,
Yeah.
yes. You've got to go to Fort Worth.
Well, did you ever want to write songs about cows or cattle drives or cowboys or any of that kind of stuff?
Well, one of my favorite songs it's not actually swing, it's a 3/4, I just named it the Cowgirl song, but it was actually in honor of Connie, give me a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, she is in the Cowgirl and Cowboy Hall of Fame, both of them, and the one in Fort Worth. Connie Reeves, there we go.
Connie Reeves.
And so someone said, "Hey, Allison, you should write about her life. She's 100 years young." And I thought, oh my gosh, how do you write a song for 100 years?
Right.
But I love the song. It's not a swing tune, but so it's been used in different videos and sung at different camps where she taught and was a lecturer and that kind of thing. So,
Well, your music,
so yes.
I would define more jazzy. I thought it was romantic, actually. Like, when you play a song, Allison, I feel like swaying. I need a partner. I need to be up and dancing
Well,
and
that's
going
good.
back and forth. I love the feel.
Well, good. I think that's the whole part of writing is, one, to get an expression out, but also to find a feel that's comfortable for yourself initially, and then hopefully if you're, pushing the song, push it that it could be adaptable. But I think just for the core songwriter, finding that what feels good and then getting a message that you can believe in, that seems to me.
You
So
two
thank
have
you.
worked together, right?
Yes, yeah, we both are kind of fond of the jazz flavor of how music swings. And I was wondering if you were influenced by Bob Wills or any of that Western swing when you were growing up back in
Oh,
Fort
a
Worth.
little bit, but not
Yeah.
so much. My mother was like pure mariachi music. Oh Lord.
Wow. So how did you get into the jazz chords? And that kind of thing?
I had a wild hair, and I decided I'd just go live in Las Vegas because I wanted to see what shows are like and that kind of thing. And essentially, I fell into and met a friend who said, "Oh, you've got to go see the big band that plays a tea time every Sunday, from like 4 to 6." And I thought, big band. So, okay, I'll go. And all of a sudden, it was hearing this gorgeous swing big band music. And so from that, then I started going and hearing different singers who were singing Sinatra and Mel Torme and Tony Bennett and that kind of thing. And I thought, oh, that would be fun. So that's when I researched
that's
it more and
cool.
started doing it.
Out in Las Vegas?
Yeah, Las Vegas.
And you were already writing and playing guitar at that point? So
Yeah, writing and playing, but primarily I went there just to see what it'd be like to sing a lot. And it was an adventure. So, but then I came here.
And you discovered big band and
Oh
really all
yeah,
these
I
jazz
fell in
songs.
with a group of friends who loved, the big band music. So, pinnacle of my life is when I got to go see Frank Sinatra, and I could almost you'll love this, touches socks. Speaking of socks, I should get good points
This was
for
at
that.
Vegas?
No, really, it was so close, and he had the big band, and it was just so awesome. So my life was transfigured after that. But I've always had a mix, but it was that started it, and then when I came to Nashville, I ended up meeting some folks who also liked the swing feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've
you've
been
actually-
in different fields, country.
And you've
pop.
recorded albums that are pretty much straight up swing.
Yes, yes, and there's
Formed a
quite a
band,
few
yeah.
originals on each CD,
Yeah.
and I have to give credit to Alan Rotano, a wonderful collaborator and a great inspiration. And it was, wouldn't this be fun? You know how an idea starts, wouldn't that be fun? And okay, that'd be fun. So of learning, of working together to write some music. And then from that, it was, what if we recorded some of it? So
Right.
it was one of those things that happened.
How many CDs do you have out? I have a couple in hand.
Those two. I have another one that's not swing. It's real fun. It's a kid's thing. It's called the Jingle Bells, Belles. It is so fun, and it's fiddle and accordion and a cat that meows in the back. So I mean, it's very zany and fun. But these are the ones that are more in the swing.
Biscuits. You can't beat that title, Hot Biscuits. I
Well,
love it.
Southern.
Yeah.
I wanted to give it that Southern.
And that was
flair.
the name of your band.
Yeah.
For right. I
Hot-
remember
Hot
seeing your
Biscuits
band
yeah.
in different
We did
places.
quite a few gigs, and then I ventured into, I realized that I wanted to move into music therapy because I have a great interest in kids, psychology, and music, and I realized if I become board certified in music therapy, then I would still have an avenue of music that I'm using for healing and different goals for rehabilitation, but I could still keep my other side alive with gigs, and because I think it's just so important to keep that part of us, whether we're 120 or 20, just keep that part alive.
I want to hear some more about this music therapy and some differences that it's made. And I wanted you to share some stories, and we'll delve more into this instructional guitar stuff. We'll see if it can work for somebody like me. Coming up on Studio 23 Nashville.
Hickman County, Tennessee. It feels a lot like home, or how home should feel. Come by, sit a spell. Soak in the goodness that inspired Minnie Pearl to write about this special place. Visit Hickman County, Tennessee's hidden treasure.
Little Southern summer tune.
I like it.
It's a lavender late afternoon. There's a scent of soft southern June, and I think I'll sit on the porch and swing. Children laugh in the yard, and old folks playing at cards, and I think I'll sit on the porch and swing. There's ice cream cranking by hand, and refreshments at the 5-cent lemonade stand, watermelon triangle sliced, and I bet there's a beer hiding under the ice. We can go to the old swimming hole, or down where young lovers stroll, or we can stay right here and sit on the porch and swing. twice. And I hope there's a bear hiding under the ice. We can go to the old swimming hole, or down where young lovers stroll, or we could stay right here and sit on the porch. Stay right here, sit on the porch. Stay right here and sit on this porch and just swing.
Welcome back to Studio 23 Nashville. I'm Jennifer Herron with Bryan Cumming and our special guest, Allison Kerr.
Thank you.
Allison, you were telling us about your music therapy, and I was very interested how it works. Can you give us an example, a story?
I can give you
maybe?
a fairly succinct example. A board-certified music therapist is trained to work with people using music and rhythmic stimuli and cues toward whatever their particular healing goal is. Meaning, if it might be a puppy dog with autism. No, if it might be a puppy dog, if it's a child with autism, and many times they do not have direct eye contact, you might use certain types of rhythm to gain attention and get a positive response, and then gradually it transfers to other areas of life. That's a real basic example, because it's many times music therapy, depending what population you're working with, if you're with Alzheimer's or dementia or traumatic brain injury or stroke, I mean all of it, it might take longer than one might expect. So you definitely have to have a lot of patience. Did that kind of make sense? It's cueing and using tones and music and overtones to encapsulate a person, to get them in that safe space of sound to take their next step toward healing, whatever that is. And it's different with different people.
It must be so inspiring for you too when you see that reaction you've been trying to get.
It can floor someone, and you know, as a professional, you're not supposed to cry. Oh God,
I'd be an emotional basket case.
One time I was assigned to work with a child, I guess about 6, a child with autism, and the mother had a goal that she wanted him to be able to say, "I love you," you know, and because you know, they'll say "I love you" to the guitar or to the couch, and they have that ability, but saying it many times, it's not there. Right. So essentially what I did, I had a room and I set up different stations of different types of music stimuli, and we gradually worked on, you know, I, and then songs with love, and then love, and then you at a different station, and gradually then put it all together. And it was my last day, and you know, we're at the "I love you" thing, and I said, you know, Mom, I love you, and it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there, and the session ended, and we did our goodbye song, and opened the door. The child walked out, walked right up to his mother. I mean, just right there, and said, "Mom, love you." Looked at her and walked off. Oh, tears! I was trying. I'm professional. You know, these big tears. Of course, the mother's just, oh, you know. Of course, the kid runs off to play with his truck or something. But it was just, I mean, you get goosebumps at those times, because then you know it's possible, and then you can build on that.
Proof right there. It really does touch so many lives. Music, it's amazing.
There's many stories of,
it must really,
and there's so much research now in music therapy. I've had Neurological Music Therapy Institute training, so that helps me with knowing appropriate cues and tones and such. But you have different pockets of expertise, like a total neurological music therapist or a guided imagery music therapist, or like in psych hospitals and such. So you're familiar with a wide array, but then many times you get more focused and specific. So also when you're a music therapist, you are required to be able to sing and competently play the guitar and competently play the piano. Now, if anything else is extra, so I'll sometimes use my fiddle in a session, and that's an adventure. But that's where I realized I wanted the new students in music therapy and then also when I arrived here in Nashville, I realized, new songwriters, for them to know new, quick ways to change their styles of music, then it might give them more ideas, more inspiration, and certainly in the music therapy side, they're more competent to emulate different songs that the client would want. And so that's when I got all inspired, and anyway, and wrote 8 easy right-hand guitar styles, because most of a style is in the right hand. And so this is just a down and dirty way to get going, and for someone who wants to accompany themselves. And so it's used at different universities, and I do workshops, and that's something I'm really into, doing guitar workshops with music therapists or beginning songwriters and veterans. But it's a great way. I'm a little biased, but it's a great way to get started quickly.
That's very interesting, and to change it up, I think that's really neat, because you're right. Some of these songwriters really do get stuck in a rut, and it's just that one song, that one lick over and over. So this is very interesting.
Did you start as a violin student and play in symphony orchestras, or how did that come about?
No. Someone came to my school, like an elementary school, and they played violin, and I went home and said, "Oh, Mother, I'd like to play the violin." Of course, she was okay. And so she got the violin, and consequently I was outside a lot. My sisters and brothers would say, "Would you please go outside and practice?" And so I would, and that was fine. And but anyway, played in the school orchestra, but it was always rather sporadic. And then when I discovered fiddle music, then it was like, oh yeah, you can be under a shade tree and just having a blast, whether you're great or just doing the best whole note in the world, and you're in the group, So I find it very inspiring in that way. So I didn't go on and do symphony. Well, I did play in the Belmont Symphony.
School symphonies before you got into fiddle.
That's impressive.
And then were you influenced by Texas fiddle music?
No, I just missed that. I was just in straight ahead country and mariachi. My mother would be singing mariachi.
That is amazing. You do not hear that influence very often, the mariachi influence.
No wonder I got a little cuckoo. So anyway.
Well, I'm curious how music therapy has enlarged your sense of what music is and can do, or the structures, or when you work. Music therapy is such a different application than performing, So I'm just curious how you think about music when you go back to performing and you're not applying it as therapy, but does the experience enlarge your perception?
Yeah,
of what
I
music
think it's definitely a mindset. It's all of a sudden when I get to play a song or share a song with other people, or write a song with other people, or just play a song for oneself, it can be a very empowering moment, because it was a gift. It was a gift that I see it, that it came to me, and I actually remembered some of it and got it written down and figured out funny chords. Whereas in music therapy, it's all about the client. It's totally about the client, what music they like, what's the appropriate music that should be used with them, meaning some types might have to be careful with language and such. But the whole point, you have to start with the client. So it's so client driven, but when you get into the other, it can just be joy driven and thankfulness driven, and getting to just share music. It's just a freer, joyful.
Right.
The other is joyful, but sorry, puppy. The other is joyful. But
the client,
it's
you're kind of you ministering to that.
but it's more of a work situation.
Yeah.
Not saying that you're not working when you're playing music, but it's very different in that sense. Client versus sharing, playing music for the fun of it.
And catering to them. Well, we'll be back with more of Allison Kerr right here on Nashville Studio 23.
Straighten up and flat right.
Now available, Come Out Swingin', the new CD by the Bryan Cumming Jazz Quartet. Come Out Swingin' is available at Studio23Nashville.com and all major digital retailers.
Say, come out swinging.
Come Out Swingin' by the Bryan Cumming Jazz Quartet. Get yours today.
A 1, 2, 3.
Down in the Delta, where cotton's king, and even Mr. Bluebird sings that morning song that they call the Memphis Blues. Up on Beale Street, folks are so refined, and even in those jukes and dives, fellas all tip their hat when a lady walks by. It doesn't matter if you're poor as dirt or rich as old Mr. Crump. Your feet gotta move when that stand-up bass goes thump. Down by the river on Sunday afternoon, you get a pig foot and a barbecue. Man, you can almost hear Mr. Handy's blues. It doesn't matter if you're poor as dirt or rich as old Mr. Crump. Your feet gotta move when that stand-up bass goes thump, baby. Down by the river on Sunday afternoon, you get a pig foot and a barbecue. Man, you can almost hear Mr. Handy's blues. Oh, listen, can't you hear Mr. Handy's blues?
back to Studio 23 Nashville. I'm Bryan. This is Jennifer, and we have Allison Kerr with us.
Hello.
And she's going to tell us a little bit about the contents of her book, which explains some of the details of guitar right-hand styles that apply to different kinds of music.
Yeah.
Something that came out of music therapy work that you do.
Yes, I just realized that with many beginning guitarists, including myself, we can get used to one riff that is our riff, and so as a songwriter, you write 4,000 songs with one riff, or as a music therapist, you tend to just play one style when you really should be playing different styles. So what this essentially talks about is if you know, say, 6, 7 basic chords in first position, right here, the basic ones, then with how you strum the guitar, this one, you get a folk feel, traditional country, folk rock, swing blues, etc. And then all of those, of course, can be amalgamated into music, how music is today, in
So
how
it's
they
kind of
overlay
in
it.
the picking it at a certain point?
And it's mainly with pick. So let's say if we're going to do a folk song in C, okay? It would be like this. You'd have, how many roads must a man walk down? Okay, so that idea. So that's a folk feel. Now, mind you, many newer musicians incorporate a lot of these in their songs, but this is a first step place to get going. So, okay, so let's say we had folk, but then if we want to have traditional country, like George Strait or Willie Nelson or, oh gosh, any of those, it would be in the key of C again, just for the fun of it. You know, he was born in Oklahoma. So you get that feel of the alternate bass, and I'm just still using very basic chords. So it's a quick start way to get going in accompanying yourself or getting other ideas for your songwriting.
And you break it down to real simple elements, and a lot of the audio that you recorded starts real slow just to show how that right hand is moving and when it's, moving upbeat, downbeat. I mean,
yeah. I mean, in the book, it has a down or an up that shows it written, but in the download, and in fact, Bryan and I worked on the music. He heard a lot of and or reggae or whatever we did.
Do an R&B. Let me get a.
Well, if you're doing.
Yeah. And this is stuff you use in music therapy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bet the first time a music therapist learns that from your book, I bet there's a nice
their world
light
just
in their
opens
eyes.
up.
Yeah.
And, at first they kind of look, or all people look at a book like, a book? I mean, but it's a place to start, and also, like if you're with a friend and you both, you can read about it, you can see examples, and then, of course, listen to the download and practice a slow speed and then a more regular speed.
Okay.
And then you also have song pieces in the book as well for downloads, or like familiar songs that you would use in music therapy, but with the styles
or
applied.
Not just music therapy, just to give an example of the style.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do kind of a reggae, you might have a Blondie. You might refer to a Blondie song. Tide is high, but moving on. That sort of thing.
And you do the waltz.
Waltzes. But anyway, so
Very interesting,
Yeah.
And it's becoming more popular, with so many people and outlets and festivals cutting down and downsizing. They're going acoustic, and they need that accompaniment. They don't have the full
exactly.
bands a lot of times. So
Yeah.
It's very handy.
Yeah,
That's true.
it gives you some more flexibility to be included, whether you're in a music therapy setting or you're in a songwriting setting or trying to work with veterans, for example, to develop a setting for them to feel accepted and have something familiar with each other. So, yeah.
And I would think those different sounds would stir up different kinds of memories too.
Oh,
especially like for a
yes.
veteran that maybe they would open up about stuff or talk or something. I would
Oh.
think that, yeah.
Very much so. I mean, the purpose, if it were a workshop, would not be for that. If it were a music therapy situation, it would be for that. But if it were a straight ahead guitar workshop, putting together a loose band per se, then its focus would be just working on the guitar. I mean, there's a fine line, but I try to honor.
Well, just
that.
mentioning like a soldier that would have PTSD or whatever,
No.
does a music therapist coordinate the therapy with other therapists who specialize in other ways to work with that particular client?
Very much so. It depends if the patient is open to that. It depends if the caregiver who's in charge of the patient is open to that. But many times you'll have a team, a collaborative team of a music therapist with someone in speech language or physical therapy or occupational therapy. Many times that can be the case in veteran with occupational fine motor skills that have been hurt or stopped. And yes, very much one can be paired with a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And in fact, many times the music therapist will start music therapy after being consulted by the psychologist and saying, we'd like to work on feeling comfortable in this area. Well, the music therapist would then work on that, but then when it gets to a certain point, that's when it's gently passed on to being worked on more with the psychologist with that specific training.
But it seems like music would be able to get through in some kind of way that all the other therapies are kind of limited.
Yeah. Well, I'm very biased.
Yeah.
But there's just so many studies of people having awakenings per se if they have Alzheimer's or moments of clarity, say with Alzheimer's. Now, mind you, music therapy might not heal Alzheimer's or dementia or a barrage of others, but what it can do is provide moments of clarity so the caregiver who's dealing with this person a lot can get some sort of validation. Because it's a dry area when you're the caregiver of someone in that situation. Even with PTSD, I mean, they've pulled away so much. Yes, music can bring memories in that might be fearful, but also might be good, that can then trigger the good things in a couple, say, marriage or a partner or something. That makes sense? So very much so. Yeah, very much so.
Very nice. Well, we're going to have to find out what's up next for you. Coming up next on Studio 23 Nashville, so sit tight.
Be the envy of the neighborhood. Make your friends jealous. Be the first on your block to get official swag from Studio 23 Nashville, Pinkerton Productions, and Bryan Cumming. Just visit our store at the bottom of the page and order yours today.
Allison, you've got a song that I think qualifies as philosophical.
Oh, really?
It's an observation about humanity.
Okay.
Like, we've got this and we've got that, and you even have that line, when you do the math, it just don't add up. Something like that.
This is true. Well, it's true. Or I believe it. Everybody does have their thing. And they've got their opinion, they've got their hands, they've got their no hands, they've got their brain, they don't use their brain, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're using it or not using it, but everyone has a particular peculiarity that can make them odd in one circle or make them brilliant in another.
The same thing.
The same thing, and so it's just that they're even. It's just which rose-colored glasses are you looking at
That's cool.
each other.
That's cool.
So,
and you're going to take a guitar solo on this one.
yeah, ooh, baby. Here you go.
Get back.
Woo,
Here comes
get
some
back,
blues.
get back.
Okay, so we're going to start with the guitar.
Okay.
All right. Everybody's got their thing.
Some folks are into money, others into fame. Some folks just think it's all funny. I guess everybody's got their thing. Some folks are into freedom, others into chains. Some folks are fine if you just feed 'em. I guess everybody's got their thing. There's people blazing brand new paths while others barely budge. It don't add up if you do the math, but who am I to judge? Some folks would die for pleasure, others live for pain. There's too many kinds to measure. I guess everybody's got their thing. There's people blazing brand new paths while others barely budge. It don't add up if you do the math, but who am I to judge? Some folks would die for pleasure, others live for pain. There's too many kinds to measure. I guess everybody's got their thing. I guess everybody's got their thing. I guess everybody's got their thing.
Well, we're very glad to have Allison Kerr on the show with us today. Thank you, Allison, for joining us.
Thank you. A pleasure.
And I had asked, what's next for you? I imagine more music to continue the CD collection.
Yes, gigs around town, and definitely guitar workshops, working with songwriters, and as I said, veterans and other music therapists. So that's a focus. I do have another book percolating in the back, and that always happens when you start working on something you know, and then more starts percolating. So
more guitar instruction.
Yes.
Or
another guitar instruction and
Nice.
another short film. So
oh, whoa.
Very interesting. Where would we keep up with you? Do you have a website, Facebook,
yes,
all that?
www.allisonkerr.com.
Allison has 2 L's, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All is on.
And are you a social media maven? Are you on there all the time?
I'm not on there all the time, but I welcome anyone to communicate with me, and I then communicate back.
People love that. They love to chat now. That's the big thing.
Oh, it is. It's just, I love Maven. That's
Instant
a great
contact.
word.
Whoa,
I love it.
Maven. Ooh.
Yeah, maybe
We're
I
so
need to get
honored
to
to have you here.
Yeah.
She's been a lot of fun. Allison Kerr, thank you.
Thank
once
you.
again.
Hope to see you again. Thanks.
All right.